So just before we get into it, guys, this video is actually sort of a blooper reel to show that, as developers, we aren't immune to stuff going wrong. So we've got your normal videos, we don't want to oversaturate everything too much, so we sort of pull back a bit. We hide a few more of the issues that go wrong, whereas this video doesn't hold back. I try to do it, it fails. I fix it, we try something else, that fails. But it shows how development and how the development cycle truly works. Nothing is ever perfect first time. Otherwise, leave me to it. I hope you guys enjoy the episode, I guess. Yo guys, what is going on? This is Scummers from MenuDocs coming back at you with a Discord.py episode. Except today, it's going to be a little different. Today, we're going to be learning how to host our Discord bot 24/7. Keep it up, stop having to run it on your own computer. But before we get that far, I'd just like to introduce everyone's favourite subtle plug to our series. And that is that this episode's server is proudly provided by our partner, Oxide Hosting. With reliable hosting at what is quite possibly some of the best prices that I've personally seen on the internet, look no further when trying to find somewhere to host your bot or website. Who am I to judge? So just head over to oxide.host and that's where they just live, just chilling over there. So now I've gone ahead and got myself a server, and this should be in your emails, but I've just been forwarded it from Nick, who's helping me out for this episode. And we're just going to jump in here, and we're going to be just running our link here. We're going to jump into the portal. I've already got my username and password filled in, but you should get a form saying control panel link, username, which will be probably just your email, and then we've got the password, and you should be able to just log in like that. And while we just wait for this to log in, so this is like the control panel. If you can't be bothered physically going into your server via SSH, you can just jump into here, look at your services, look at your overviews for your products. So we've got our nice little server here. I'm just going to click this arrow here, and that's going to take us to manage, so we can see where it is. It's hosted in France, it's running Ubuntu 18. We're not using much resources because we haven't done anything with it yet. We can go through some graphs, look at bandwidth, look at the monthly speeds. Some settings, current host name is MenuDocs Pi, because bam! Now you can change the password, IP, select the primary IP, settings, SSH keys, everything you could possibly want or need. And you might be wondering, cool, but how do I use it? So that's where this thing up here called the IP address comes in. This is essentially where the server lives on the internet, so we're just going to go Control C, and we're going to go and use an application called Putty. Now this is for Windows. For other ones such as Moby, Xterm and things, Linux, you can just use command line, just type SSH and then put the IP. If you don't have Putty, there will be a link in the description below. So just go to that link, download Putty and set it up. You should be able to just get this after you run the installer. So we're just going to put our IP in here and we're going to save it. We're going to go my VPS. Hit save, that way whenever you double click on this, it connects you to your VPS. Now, since we haven't made our own account, there should be a root account. And with that root account, you will have been given a password in your email. So we're just going to Control C that, come over here, and to paste on Linux, it's right clicked. I've just pasted the password, but you won't be able to see it. You just have to assume it's there. And so now, we're logged into our server. And that's it. We've got a private computer that we can use 24/7. And now that we're in the server, what can we do? Let's have a look around. ls. There's nothing in the root directory. There's nothing in our home directory. So, what about Python? Python's not found. What about Python 3? Because Python 2 is end of life now, so it's Python 3. So we're just going to go exit. And I'm just going to show you guys how to install a new Python version. So sudo apt-get, and then we just want to do update. So you just want to update everything on your VPS, because when you first install it, it'll just be like the base, and then you run this command, it'll update everything. And then we're just going to chuck in the old upgrade just to make sure that everything's up to date. If I can type upgrade, and so this is just going to make sure we're running the latest version, we're all good. We want to click yes, we do want to install that. They're not too big. And that way we're just working off the latest version and we're all good. We're not going to run into any problems. And then after this, we're just going to go ahead and install the latest version of Python, which is 3.8, and set up the required dependencies. You know, might show you guys how to use pip freeze, as well as a couple other things. So while we're waiting for this, why don't we just go run command. I'm going to cd to my desktop, I'm going to cd to my Discord bots, and we're going to go into Pyro, I think. And then, so you notice how we've got pip show, which you show the package name and it'll give you some information, like so. And there's also a nice command called pip freeze. Now this is going to show all the installed packages at the moment. And so there's a nice way to redirect this in Linux. We're going to go requirements.txt. So instead of printing to the screen, it's going to print it to the requirements.txt. And so if I just go and pull up my Discord bot folder with Pyro, notice we've got this nice little requirements.txt, and in that is all of these. And then we can quite simply put on our server, ooh, yes, I would like to do that. Make sure that's all updated, let it restart everything. Now this might take a bit of time, sometimes it'll be pretty quick, sometimes it might take a while, it just depends on your installation. So you can have Ubuntu, you can have Debian, there's a lot of different settings within Oxide. There's a lot of different OSs, you can host it in different places, but that's pretty much it for that. So now while we're waiting for this, we're also going to go and pull up our second application, and that is FileZilla. Now again, if you don't have this, feel free to just jump in the description and go download it. And then when you're in here, we're just going to go up to this thing up here. I want to add a new site. The new site, and we'll just call it my VPS. Now, what's the host? What are these buttons for? So we're just going to go and get our IP again. Host. What's our username? Root. And then what's our password? Drag this over here real quick. We're all good. And so that's our password. We're just going to click OK, and then you can click this right drop down arrow to connect to your VPS whenever you want. I've got this set up with a master password. You don't even have to remember the actual password for the account. You just cool. So that's still setting up everything here, which is why it's failing to connect. So we're just going to close this for now until this is done. Now I'll just let this run in the background, guys, and I'll just do a shortcut, and then once we've finished all of our updates and upgrades, I'll be right back. Cool. So now that's all finished, why don't we go about installing Python 3.8? So it's really simple. You just go sudo apt-get install, and then whatever you want to install. So Python 3.8. Yes, I would like to use up that disk space. And now, something to explain what this is going on is that since we have multiple instances of Python, if we just go pip install, it's quite possibly going to just install it for 3.6 rather than 3.8. So we're going to specifically specify that we want to use Python 3.8-m, and then we're going to use pip to install discord.py or whatever we wish to install. Okay, pip is not installed. It's quite possible that it is pip3, which is for Python 3. No. Alright, so we'll just go sudo apt-get install pip. So this is a great example of, in your own coding experience, if something happens like there's no module, which means that we don't have it, so we need to install it. Unable to locate your package pip. That is because it's actually Python pip. And I need a space here. Too many spaces. But from simply reading the error, we can tell that it was saying Python pip not located, and then I just reread it. So not every time when there's an error is it something that you need to panic about. So most of the time, you know, you just read what's going on. Just read it. It's like, I can't find this. Well, what is it? So we could have gone how to install pip on Ubuntu, and then whatever you're running. So we're running 18.40. Then we can just go down here, click on the link, sudo apt update. We've done that, and then we just need to install. Oh, so we've installed it for the wrong version. Whoops, my bad. That's okay. Now we just go back and we remedy the situation. You notice there's also Python 2, which is what I've actually done. But I'll just wait for that to finish, and then I can install it for Python 3 as well. Now, so this can also apply to code as well. It doesn't just have to be with regard to your VPS. So we'll just jump on another one while we're waiting. No point hanging around. Also, don't really feel like cancelling it. So we'll just jump in here, we'll just go bam. Bugger. That's alright. Wait for that to log in, and then we'll just go sudo apt-get install Python 3 pip. As this also shows how you can have multiple connections open at once. So it's like, say you're installing something in the background, you don't have to be limited to just one. So then, let's just check if this works. You know, just, whoop, still no module name pip. That's because it was installed for Python 2. So like, how do I get rid of it? There's no point in me having it here, so we go sudo get remove Python pip. And then that'll just go through and remove Python pip. Yep, I would like to remove that. And just like that, we've solved our issue of downloading the wrong version. It's really that simple. And now we can just go back up here and bang! Look at that. We've got discord.py. Also, you can exit the session with the X, or you can just put Control D to disconnect. And so now we're just going to jump back on FileZilla, and we're going to transfer our Discord bot. So I'll just chuck this in here. Bang, bang, bang. Cool, so I've got my bot over here waiting. Connection attempt failed with econ refused, connection refused by server. Cool, so let's just jump in here. Let's try SFTF2, there, I cannot speak at the moment. Reconnecting, using username root, connected, working, boom. So you see, that's another example. This is just past experience for me working here, but when it doesn't work, it's quite possibly just an option change. This is SSH file transfer, and that's just regular. So use SSH because that's what it's set up. And then this is our home file on the right. I'm just going to drag and drop. It's going to go through, it's going to transfer everything from Pyro over to the VPS. So it's just sending over everything across. You can see all our queued files down the bottom here. Now it might take a couple minutes to do this because we've got a lot of Git stuff in here. So while we're on that, let's just chill over here and have a look at the Linux operating system. So there's a couple of key commands that you'll be wanting to use. So to explore your files, if you type ls, that will show you the file overview. That, as you can see, I'll just leave this up here. We've got our files over here, we've got the Pyro, but there's all these ones with a full stop. Why can't I see them? So how come I can't see these files with a full stop? Well, if you go ls-a, that's because they're hidden files, you can now see all those files. So that's just a simple bit of bash there, just basics get started. And then to change directory, we go cd to change directory. Put in the name of where you want to go, and you can press tab for autocomplete. Now if you notice I look in Pyro, that's our bot. It's coming along nicely. But like, what if you want to go back? So you can just go cd ... and that'll take you one directory up. Another useful command is pwd, which prints the current working directory. So it's just /root. And then if I go to Pyro, ls, boom. So that's pretty much that. So let's just jump back in here. I'm just going to take a quick look at cogs / and to me it looks like we have got most of our bot on here so far. Well, no, that's incorrect. We don't have our bot_config folder yet. So I'm going to stop and remove everything from the queue, and I'm just going to manually transfer it over. That's because I don't want to have to, transfer all of these Git things across anymore. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to take that, requirements.txt, transfer these across. See, it's only 13 files. It's just going to save me a lot of time. And then we're just going to go, boom. That can go across as well. Now once that's done, we should be able to run our bot. But you'll notice at the moment we try to run the bot, it is going to error. That is due to the fact that we haven't installed all of our dependencies. Now, if you just let me clear away the recording channel before I bring this over, and I'll just bring over the old Discord in a bit. We've got our Discord here. We're going to go ahead and just do some testing just to show that this bot works. And so now that we're in the Pyro directory, everything's transferred over, so we're just going to go Python 3.8 bot, main.py. Now you notice it's thrown an error. It's gone no module and no module named motor. So now we're just going to go ahead and I'm going to show you the best part about the pip3 freeze we did earlier on. So you can just go Python 3.8 -m pip install. We're going to put an R and then we're going to put requirements.txt. And now that's going to loop over the entire requirements.txt file and install everything we need. Everything in that file will get installed. Now, because we're not working in a virtual environment, this is every package installed on the system. Whereas if you're working in a virtual environment, it'll only give you that projects once, which is probably a bit better, but realistically this will be good enough for you. So we'll just wait for this to finish and we'll just explore the file system a bit more. You can drag and drop anything you want across. You can navigate your way around, and FileZilla's also got this nice status tree up here. Shows you what's going on. Queued files, failed files, successful transfers to show you that it's all been transferred over. There's a cute little indicator down here. And then while we're waiting for this to download in the background, I'm just going to start up Putty again and jump on root. Pull up the password, pull up some more details again, and I'm just going to introduce the basics of screen. And so screen is going to be how we're running our bot. And so essentially what this is, it just lets you run, because if you run the bot on the process like this, if I just go Python 3 now, the moment you disconnect, this stops. The moment you disconnect, anything running in this terminal will stop. It's not going to run in the background. Whereas if you're running in a screen or using like some program manager, it'll keep running. And so that's how we're going to run our bot, is by using Linux built-in screen. So then we're just going to go screen. Well, the other one's finished now, so we can just go, and I can actually show you guys what I mean. We go Python 3.8 main.py. Well, I've installed my requirements.txt, but it's still not working, you say. Well, this is where Google comes in. So I'm just going to go and I'm going to go and copy this. And then we're going to go up here and we're going to go PyPy, copy. And then this is just how you go about Googling your errors. So it's like, this is the error, we can't find the package. PyPy is Python's the package manager. So then we're just going to go, alright, cool. Copy that. Try and install it. I'm just going to make sure it's installed for Python 3.8. Wait for that to install. Boom. Fairly simple. Now look at that, we're connected. We're good to go. DNS Python must be installed. So that's another runtime error. So we're just going to close the event loop. Go back to installing a new package. DNS Python. You know, it's just like throwing a runtime error. It goes, DNS Python module must be installed. So what's that tell us? It tells us we're A, missing DNS Python, and B, need it to be able to run our code. Now let's just jump back on here and we're just going to go Python 3.8 main.py. Logged in. I'm seeing no errors. I'm ready. Database connection's all good to go. So let's jump back into Discord. Jump back into here. Good on ya. And then we're just going to go py.help. Just to show that our bot's working. Although it doesn't seem to be working at the moment. can't quite remember what the syntax was for this bot. Oh, that's right, I'm sorry. We need to re-invite the bot to this Discord. So if you just give me a minute, we'll just pop over to room up here. Go to Discord developers. Pull this back up here, I don't mind. We go to Pyro, and let's see where we can invite this to. Growth, bot, copy, paste. Select the server. Where do I want to invite it? Where's MenuDocs? Ah, well, it doesn't look like I can invite it to MenuDocs, so I'm just going to invite it to my personal server. Cool. All done. So now we'll just pop down here because this is my server, and then I'm just going to go. We did invite the bot, correct? Yes, we did. Now it's showing offline. Why is it showing offline? So we'll just pop up here. And now I'm not quite too sure why it's showing as offline. Quite possibly because I'm using the wrong token. So let's just jump on and showcase you how to use screen. So I'm just going to cut. I'm going to get the bot working, and I'll be right back. Cool, so I've just quickly gone ahead and changed the token over. I had it on the test bot rather than the Pyro bot, which is okay. So now we're just going to run this again, and we're just going to check. So we've got another error here, no module named libnicker. So before we just log in, we're going to cancel this, and then we're going to go and do the old. Scroll up for a bit because I don't want to retype the command. Libnicker. Enter, and hopefully we're good to go. Now you notice it's installing all requirements were already satisfied, so it's literally just had to set it up, which is nice. And so this is just so my reasoning behind bringing a more advanced bot onto the VPS is just to show that rather than using a really simple bot, which would have meant I couldn't showcase the errors and how to go about testing things, by using Pyro it's allowed me to showcase all of the things like this. So it's allowed me to showcase errors where cogs have failed. It's allowed me to showcase errors where our requirements.txt has failed to install the required modules. So it's just, covering all the bases, really. So now we've got our help command running, what else do you need? But, watch this. I'm going to disconnect. So, it should be good, right? I was running the bot. Help. It stopped recording. Why is it stopped recording? Because like we said, once you're running an instance on here, if you disconnect, then the moment you disconnect, it stops running those processes that are running. So that's why we have to use something that runs in the background like screen. So we're just going to go screen. I'm going to pull this up. Come back in here. Cool, so we don't actually have screen. Sudo apt install screen. Cool, so now we've got screen, so we can just go screen. Cool. Cd into Pyro, and then we're going to go Python 3.8 main.py. Cool, we're just going to wait for the bot. Look, it's all good. Now we can disconnect and watch this. It's going to be really counterintuitive if this doesn't work. Cool, there we go. Look, so it works perfectly fine. And that's because it's running on screen in the background. And now here's a couple of utility functions for screen. So to access a running screen, so we're going to go root, and then we're just going to go bang, bang. So you can go screen dash list to show all the running screens. You can go screen dash R and then the screen you want to connect to. Bam, back. Then you just go Control A and Control D to detach from the screen. And now let's say for purposes that you want to keep track of it, you can go screen dash capital S, your screen number, which is 420, or close enough, dash X, session name, new name, Pyro. Now if I go screen list, you see that it's called Pyro, so I know what my screen's called now. Let's go and I just want to attach the parent. And boom, that is that done. And now there's a couple other things I want to just quickly go over. And so let me just pull up the old developer portal and bring it over here. And then we're just going to disconnect from the screen again. And a topic that I want to cover is just going to be how to remove root and some more sort of security advanced things. So essentially root is sort of like in relation to Windows. So you've got your admin perms. Root is admin. Root can do whatever it wants, right? And that's a security problem. Because if someone gets into root, then you can really just really simply get in and boom, they've got access to everything. So really what you want to do is get in, get your VPS set up, but then don't run it on the root account. What you want to do is disable root by SSH and use your own login. And so now something that I'm just going to use is we're going to open a file, edit it, and then just block root by SSH. But first, what do we need to do? We need to create a new account and give it admin perms. And you might be wondering, well, how do I do that? Well, quite simply put, we're going to take a few steps. So we're going to log into our server as with here, and then we're going to go add user. What do we want to use now to be? I'm going to call it Scummers. Boom. Add a new user. What do you want the password to be? Scummers is cool. Scummers is cool. Cool. And now for these, you can just hit enter. It's all good. Click yes. And now boom, that's done. You've got a new user. But we want to make them sudo, so that they have sudo code. So we're going to use the mod -ag sudo and then your username. And then so that's going to be all good. So now we should be good. So if I just go ahead and I just open up another putty, we're going to go and we're going to attempt to connect as Scummers, and we're going to go Scummers is cool. Look at that, we've got our own account now. Do I have sudo apt-get update? Now it will ask for your password, so we're just going to go Scummers is cool. Boom, look at that, look. That's sick. We've got our own account. We can do whatever we want as well. And now we just need to go over here and we just need to remove permissions for root via SSH. So we're going to go sudo nano, which is text editor, and then we're just going to go to this config folder here. And then we're going to go down and we're going to find a line which says permit root login. So we'll just scroll down a bit. It will be a tad down. And we're going to go here and we're going to go yes. But I don't want that to happen, so no. Save the file with Control S and then Control X to exit. And now we just need to restart the SSHD service. So we can go sudo service SSHD restart. Cool. That's good. And now all we're going to have to do is just simply disconnect. Disconnect. I'm going to go to putty. I'm going to attempt to reconnect, but this time with root. Jump off here for a bit. Put the root password in. And when you look at that, access is denied, so we can't use root anymore. If you want to change that, we just go back into our own account. And then all we have to do to change that is just go back into that file and enable root login. Now that's pretty much it for me in this episode. I know it's gone around in circles a bit, and I know you probably wanted a more straightforward tutorial, but I thought I'd be blunt. I wouldn't curate it in such a way that everything worked perfectly fine and then you'd be stuck wondering where you stuffed up. That's just not the way I see it. I want you guys to be able to do it yourself and understand that errors will happen. Stuff will break. And well, quite frankly, that's just life. So by doing it this way and by encountering my errors, and rather than just going out there and editing them out, I'm going to include them in the video, and that way you can get the full experience. You can see how I go about solving them and how you can go about solving them, because really they are simple. But it's just that you're so used to seeing everything go perfectly that you expect yours to go perfectly, when that's just not true in the development world. But anyway, that's it from me. Until next time, happy hosting, lads.